Coming back to visit my mother, my heart sank as I looked across the rice fields. Once lush and nearly ready for harvest, now left in ruins. Countless hoofprints told a story that couldn't be denied. Wild boars had torn through our land like a storm. That's why we set out, not just for my family, but for the sweat and effort of the entire village. Would we return safely from this mission? Only time would tell. Today's strategy was clear. Each man had a designated position, radios at the ready for coordination and backup. Our camo was scent marked to perfection, boots built for traction on uneven terrain, and our trusty Land Rover Defender stood by, ready to carry us into the heart of danger. Before sunrise, I was already stationed inside my hunting blind, about 40 meters downwind from the auto feeder. At exactly 6 o'clock a.m., the machine would release corn, its crunching sound and rich scent the perfect bait to lure in the pigs. Minutes later, a hulking shadow emerged from the mist, lumbering toward the feeder. The moment it lowered its head, completely unaware, this was the golden moment. I slowly raised my rifle, lined up the crosshairs on its weak spot, held my breath, and squeezed the trigger. The first shot hit its mark, a clean takedown. The hunt had begun. Less than an hour later, David's voice crackled through the radio. Another target down, one more glutton off the field. Gunshots echoed through the woods, each one a declaration. Peace is being restored. Moments later, more shots rang out from the team. Everything was going exactly as planned. The sun was high. We moved deeper into boar territory. Based on years of experience, I picked a spot behind a massive tree, upwind, overlooking a small clearing, a perfect shooting lane. Soon, a group of wild boars emerged, unsuspecting. I waited, breath held, as they stepped into my kill zone.
Ready? One, two.
Boom! One shot, two targets. The bullet tore through the air, hitting its mark with deadly precision. They never even had the chance to cry out. The deeper we ventured, the darker it became. Then, the unmistakable rustling and snorting of pigs up ahead. They were busy feasting, unaware of the danger watching from behind a tree.
You smoked him.
Yes,
I locked in on the biggest one, likely the leader. One deep breath, and I pulled the trigger. Another menace wiped from the land. That shot was the result of years of discipline, patience, and instinct honed by countless hunts. David's voice crackled over the radio. Big sounder spotted West Forest Edge. We moved in immediately to assist. When we arrived, an entire herd of wild boars, big and small, were lost in their feeding. Tactic now was clear: take out the alpha. My eyes swept across the group, searching for the largest, most aggressive animal.
Wait till I'm getting in range.
I calmly locked the crosshairs on the leader and squeezed the trigger. The round struck true. The big boar collapsed. With its commander gone, the herd scattered like a hive struck by a blow. The greatest threat was neutralized. We let out a collective sigh of relief. Dusk had fallen, but the mission wasn't over. This is when they're most active. We returned to our ambush points near the feeder. Night descended, and the shadows returned. The boars had no idea the Reaper was waiting. I picked the largest of the bunch and gave it the final shot, the last strike that closed out a tense but effective day of hunting. Doing this work takes more than guts, quick reflexes, and persistence. It takes a heart of steel that doesn't flinch at danger. Everything we do is to protect the rice fields heavy with grain, to buy peace for the village. Which shot impressed you the most? Drop a comment below.
Three, two, one. Danny, you ready? Yep. 3, 2, 1.
The endless fields may seem calm, but all it takes is one wild hog charging through to throw everything into chaos. Armed with brute strength and cunning instincts, these beasts can tear through anything in their path. That's why seasoned hunters never let their guard down. One slight movement could mean the prey is right in front of you or already gone, leaving behind only stunned eyes staring into the distance. So, what are you waiting for? Get ready for some heart-pounding, unforgettable hunting moments. Early in the morning, John's hunting vehicle sped down the road heading toward the Queensland fields. As soon as they arrived, hurried footsteps set off the chase to track the wild animals. Every tense gaze scanned the surroundings, leaving no spot unchecked. Wait, there seemed to be a noise ahead. John raised his modern binoculars, spotting a dark figure hiding among the tall grass. In a ready stance, the precise trigger pull came the moment the animal slipped into John's sight. The beast fell instantly, a powerful shot marking a strong start to today's battle. Moving on to the neighboring field to hunt for more targets, the team quickly set up a tight perimeter. After just a few minutes of waiting, a herd of wild boars appeared across the field. This was the golden moment. John immediately squeezed the trigger, the bullet hitting its mark. The lone boar fell, and the rest panicked and scattered. Moments later, the echoing shot signaled that the fleeing threat had been dealt with. A successful move to stop those sharp claws from continuing their destruction here. At another location, Jay spotted a pack of wild hogs casually moving through the field. Without a moment's hesitation, he fired a powerful shot. The lead hog collapsed instantly. Follow-up shots quickly stopped the rest in their tracks. A flawless sweep that left no one behind, successfully protecting the field. As the sun climbed higher, John's team decided to switch up their tactics and hunting grounds. They moved deeper into the thick brush surrounding the fields, determined to better protect the peace of Queensland's farmlands. Just as the hounds let out a sharp bark, the massive silhouette of a wild hog tore across their path. In a matter of seconds, John locked in, raised his rifle, and squeezed the trigger. One shot was all it took to bring down the ferocious beast. At the edge of the field, Jay held his rifle steady, eyes locked on every movement, making sure nothing escaped his watch. Seconds later, a wild hog burst out of the brush. With no wasted motion, Jay pulled the trigger on instinct. Fast, clean, decisive. The beast dropped instantly. No matter how fast it ran, it never stood a chance against the barrel already waiting for it. At the same time, John kept moving, tracking the remaining signs. After a while, he paused, his eyes still sweeping the area. There, a large herd of wild boars had gathered. He raised his gun, and shots rang out in rapid succession. Another swift sweep was carried out in seconds, and soon only fallen bodies remained. The long day has come to an end, trophies in hand, but the echoes of gunfire still ringing in the mind. The wild boars may return, but today, no one can deny that the hunters are the victors. The victory is for protecting the crops and bringing peace to the people.
I've taken part in more than a few intense hunts, but the wild boar hunt in the coniferous forests of Siberia stands as one of the most unforgettable. The boars here weren't just numerous, they were massive and ferocious. Facing such formidable opponents, we made thorough preparations before stepping into this wild showdown. Leaving the farm behind, the team made their way into the forest. The dogs were released right away, quickly fanning out to track the prey. Hearing the urge of barking echo through the trees, my heart raced as I dashed forward. The moment I spotted the boar, I fired without hesitation, giving it no chance to escape. Not far away, another boar went down under the fierce assault of the hounds and a well-placed bullet from one of our rifles. Several more boars were taken down shortly afterward. Some were at considerable distances and sprinted at staggering speeds, making them difficult to aim at. Still, we held firm, staying locked onto our targets. Within half an hour, we had eliminated a significant number of these dangerous intruders. The most unexpected moment came when a massive boar, easily over 90 kilograms, burst out of the underbrush and charged across a grassy field like a black tornado. Its speed caught me off guard, but I managed to fire just in time. The bullet hit its mark, and the beast collapsed after only a few staggering steps. We hunted relentlessly into the afternoon. No one even considered stopping. Gunshots echoed steadily through the quiet forest, each shot cleanly dropping a target. The atmosphere was electric, team morale at an all-time high. It was a golden opportunity, the perfect time to strike. In just a few quick moments, sharp, decisive shots brought them down one after another. The hunt continued without pause. Even when the boars panicked and scattered, few managed to escape our icy aim. Over the next hour, we silently observed the surroundings and soon spotted a stream of wild boars. They sprinted headlong, oblivious to the trap ahead. We held our positions, waiting breathlessly until the prey stepped fully into view. Then, all at once, the team opened fire, a hail of bullets rained down. Those once familiar silhouettes quickly became nothing more than motionless black shadows.
In Ohio, wild boars are breeding at an uncontrollable rate. In a short time, they've spread across vast areas, destroying crops, damaging ecosystems, and threatening entire communities. Many countries have issued warnings because these animals carry dangerous diseases that can spread to livestock and even to humans. Hunters must take action immediately, not only to protect the harvest but also to safeguard public health. If we don't control them in time, what consequences will we face, and who will bear the cost? Wild boars cause intense destruction, run extremely fast, and often hide in decaying leaf-covered forests, very difficult to track. The fight between hunter and wild boar isn't just a simple chase if you're even one beat too slow. The predator can become prey. The barking of the hunting dogs echoed ahead, growing louder with each passing second. Clearly, they had just caught the scent of a wild boar, and it was running straight toward me. Just moments later, from a hidden corner of the forest, the boar burst out. I raised my rifle, took careful aim. Boom! The shot rang out, and the boar collapsed instantly down and gunshots echoed through the forest, ringing out from multiple directions. My teammates had clearly encountered and taken down some wild boars. And this was just the beginning. It was already this intense. This hunt was truly exhilarating. I moved into the adjacent forest, still scanning for tracks when a dark figure suddenly appeared, slipping between the trees. I immediately raised my rifle, holding my position, waiting. As soon as its full body stepped out from behind the trunk, I pulled the trigger. Bang! The wild boar collapsed on the spot without even a chance to turn around. In another corner of the forest, Michael, my teammate, had also tracked the boar's trail. Just as he raised his rifle to aim, the boar dashed across. The first shot landed clean, dropping the boar on the spot. But it wasn't over yet. A second one suddenly burst out from behind. Michael didn't hesitate. He chambered another round and pulled the trigger again. As I moved toward the direction of the barking hounds, suddenly two wild boars burst out in panic, charging straight toward me. Without a second to think, I raised my rifle and pulled the trigger. The first shot rang out, the trailing boar dropped instantly. The hunt wasn't over yet. We were determined to take down the rest. Dark clouds began to cover the sky. We had to quickly track down the remaining boars before the rain hit. While following the trail, I suddenly heard a rustle in the bushes. Without hesitation, I raised my gun. A single shot and the boar dropped, not even getting the chance to escape. The rain had started to fall, and we had to head back. If it poured, getting out wouldn't be easy. On the way, I heard movement in the bushes. I immediately raised my gun, took aim. A dark figure darted past. I fired. But I missed. The wild boar changed direction, charging straight toward me. I quickly repositioned, cut it off. The second shot rang out. This time, it had no chance to escape. Speed, firepower, relentless pursuit. Every second is captured in raw, unfiltered footage shot by professional hunters. No refarshaus, no retakes, just instinct and a life or death battle between man and beast. Are you ready to enter this fight for survival? Let's dive in right now. The first stop. The Pindus Mountains, a rugged range where treacherous terrain, dense forests, and a rich ecosystem form the perfect maze for wild boars to hide. At 5 a.m., Ronan started up his trusted vehicle, quietly gliding through the cold morning mist toward the mountain's base. Wasting no time, he and his hunting dog plunged into the deep forest, tracking the creature locals ominously call the Shadow on snow. After over 30 minutes of silent pursuit in skin-piercing cold, a dark figure suddenly charged, heading straight for Ronan. In less than a minute, it was nearly upon him. Would you stay calm enough to pull the trigger in that moment? Ronan didn't hesitate. A precise, decisive shot. A mark was left on the Pindus Mountains, but the journey was far from over. Felix and his team, binoculars in hand, the silence was suffocating. 15 minutes passed. Then a dark silhouette silently drifted through the lowlands. Felix held his breath, eyes locked through the scope. The moment the target came into range of light, deliberate squeeze. One clean shot. The beast dropped in the grass without a sound. When the ground no longer offers a clear view, the sky becomes the next battlefield. This time, we follow Dustin's team soaring above the wide-open skies of Texas.
Oh, we got several of them, yeah. Okay.
As the last light of dusk fades, the helicopter roars to life, slicing through the air, sweeping low over the terrain in search of the beast below.
Oh, look at there, that was good.
The pilot swiftly maneuvers in close, holding the chopper steady to give Dustin the perfect firing angle. Gunfire erupts, one by one. The targets fall, collapsing into the grass as blades of green fly with every impact. Wild boar carcasses lie scattered across the field. Today, the skies of Texas belong to the hunters. Leaving the skies of Texas behind, we now head into the mountains of Corsica, a place where movement is restricted by thick brush and rugged terrain. Lewis's team had arrived early. With all gear prepared, he moved into a pre-marked position, giving him a clear view of the opposing hillside. While scanning the dense bushes, a familiar silhouette suddenly came into view, a wild boar, sniffing through the grass, foraging for food. Lewis tightened his grip on the rifle and pulled the trigger.
Okay, it's okay for you. It's
One clean, decisive shot.
yeah.
The journey now takes us to Gorsky Kotur, a rugged land where thick forests and rolling hills weave together into a natural maze, perfect for wild boars to disappear into. Scott, along with his pack of hunting dogs, moves steadily uphill, weaving through rocky trails and dense undergrowth. Less than 10 minutes in, the dogs erupt, barking furiously at a nearby thicket. Suddenly, a wild boar bursts out like a bullet. The shot rings out the moment it breaks cover. Another ambush over in a heartbeat. No time to think. No time to run. Suddenly, the excited barking of his dogs echoed through the woods. The target had been found. A shadow darted through the trees, frantically searching for a way to escape. But it was too late. The moment the beast broke into the open, Stephen fired.